The last 24 to 48 hours, I have watched people drag Aries Spears with the same anti-fatness and fat-phobic rhetoric that Aries used for Lizzo. And I'm just like sitting in confused because I'm fat and black. So what does that mean?
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? I have to say that the last 24, 48 hours have been a lot. And honestly, I could just cry, honestly, but I might just save it for my therapist this Friday or next Friday. But for the last day or two, since Aries Spears had his little interview clip go viral, almost 3 million views, 4 million views now, of him being asked about Lizzo, what he think about her music and stuff. Let me first say this. Whoever asked that man that question knew exactly what they were doing. They specifically asked him about Lizzo because they knew he was going to say some ignorant stuff. Cis hetero men do this so much. I mean, Charlamagne the God did the same thing when he grabbed a picture of Janet Mock and showed it to Lil Duval. Like, they do this stuff where I'm not going to be ignorant, but I'm going to let you be ignorant, and I'm not going to stop you from talking in the interview being ignorant because I want the clout that comes with it. And it's very, very harmful. It's very, very harmful. So Aries Spears was asked about Lizzo. I'm not going to play the clip. I don't even want to repeat all the things that he was saying because the only thing I'm thinking about is the constant harm that Lizzo experienced every other week. The same harm that I see online for myself, the same harm I see with other fat, dark-skinned folks, the same misogyny and anti-blackness and anti-fatness that is all whipped up and it's like just harming fat black women. And it's just like, we just seen it not too long ago with the Precious comment on Lizzo. It's just, I honestly really thought about doing a video just saying like, y'all make like being fat and black and dark skinned hell for us. Like, I hate it. And I'm going to cry. I'm going to get teared out because I get tired. I get tired of having to be this strong, influential person, this strong person who is resilient against anti-fatness, lobbied against me like all the time. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad that Lizzo has to experience this each and every freaking month. And then to get on the line and just to see y'all, just to get online to see y'all get on Twitter. And I'm saying y'all as like generalizing because there was even Bossip wrote this headline. Mashed potato clump corniness comedian Aries Spears body shaming Lizzo gets dragged to ashy abyss. Rooted in colorism, anti-blackness, calling a black person ashy. Like, y'all only say that when it comes to a dark-skinned person. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. And I get in front of this camera and I talk about anti-fatness and I talk about the experience so much. It's just like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the treatment of fat folks. They do not care about the treatment of fat black folks. They don't care about the treatment of fat, dark-skinned black women. It is so tiring. Like, I can't, like, I hate being here. Like, I literally hate it. Because you see this all the time and people are calling this out and they think that calling Aries Spears saying, oh, he fat and ugly, he look like he can't breathe and he needs to be on a treadmill and all the other stuff. It's just like this is some type of, what are you saying? You're using the very rhetoric that Aries Spears just used to talk about Lizzo. And then you'll get people who think, and I know some of y'all mean well, y'all will get on here, y'all will respond and say, well, Lizzo she can get on there and perform, she performs her ass off, and she can breathe, and she eats healthy and all this other stuff, but she's fat. Like y'all use it as being fat is a bad thing because at the end of the day, y'all hate fat folks. Y'all do. Y'all are disgusted by fat people. Y'all are disgusted by fat people. Y'all hate fat people. Y'all don't want fat people to exist. Y'all don't want fat people to be happy. Lizzo has to be on point for everything. When I watched her perform, I knew she had to give it her all because there is no mediocrity allowed for fat folks like Lizzo. You cannot, every time, even watching Natasha off of Insecure, all the bloopers are her being funny because fat people cannot be mediocre. We cannot be mediocre. We cannot. Y'all don't see us as human. Y'all don't see us out. Y'all want us to not exist, and so many y'all say it every day, and I'm seeing it online. I'm literally seeing it. Nobody's calling Bossip out for using this trash headline. Everybody else is sitting here saying, well, he ugly and fat too, so why is he even talking? It's just like, it's a wheel of anti-fatness, anti-blackness, all of the things, and colorism. And colorism. Like, it's that, like, you have this person, like, and I'm not trying to, I'm not defending Aries Spears at all. Honestly, I can't say this because I gotta keep this channel. But Aries Spears was dead wrong for what he said. Dead wrong. The person who interviewed him and had him say this stuff, now let me tell you something. If you sit in an interview with me and you talk like that, I'm cutting your mic. Point blank, period. I've done folks like that before. Literally on Twitter Spaces or anything or podcast, chop. I'm not going to allow you to be any of these things. I've chopped people in my own house for being transphobic. Ask some of my friends. I don't play that. I don't play that. So that interviewer kind of shut that down immediately, but he chose not to because you know what? It is a safe space in this world to be ugly towards fat folks. Unfortunately, Lizzo is the happy fat that everyone loves. And I hate that so many people have put that on her. Like, she can dance, she can perform, and she's super talented, she can do all these other things, and da-da-da-da. And she's just fat, and y'all say it as if it's a problem. Like, y'all have been dragging Lizzo each and every day. I hope that she is getting the love and the respect and all the things. I hope that she's getting all of the things in private because it is a lot to be that, like, that known, that public, and hear people drag your fatness each and every day. Is so tiring, and we cannot be emotional. We cannot, because at the end of the day, it's just like, well, you should just be fat. Like, you need to get on the treadmill. It has beat my ass. I cannot, like, I'm used to it at a certain point. Even my friend would drag me and say, you're not used to it. I have learned how to deal with it where to the point I feel like it's too much. I take a break from social media. I take a break. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. And no one seems to really care about the root of the issue. Is anti-fatness is so prevalent. Like, it's so prevalent. Like, that folks thinking, them calling Aries Spears fat and ugly is like, this is revolutionary. Like, girl, yes, he ugly as hell. So I'm just thinking, it makes me think about how many people who are read as desirable are allowed to do harm, continue to do harm because of desirability. And I'm so thankful for one of my close friends this weekend to be able to get it, because the girls seem to not want to understand desirability so much that when a fat, dark-skinned person that looks like me, let me say this. I look close to Aries Spears than anybody. Me and him have the same hair texture. We have the same color of our skin, and we built almost the same. So fat people that look like Aries Spears exist, who are not dealing with internalized anti-fatness, who are not these things. This is why we need to be focused on the behavior of the person. This man is throwing trash things about Lizzo out of his mouth. We can name. We have a name for it. We have a name for it. Let's call it that. We don't have to call Aries Spears ugly. We don't have to revert to colorism. And we don't have to even use classism. We don't have to call him poor, broke, and all the other stuff, because poor black people exist too. Poor black people exist. A lot of poor black people exist. A lot. And there's a lot of other poor black folks who don't think like that about Lizzo. And there's a lot of other rich black folks, or people who think they're rich, who have the same thoughts on Lizzo too. So it's not a poor issue. It's not a rich issue. It's not a fat issue. What the thing is anti-fatness. Say it with me. Anti-fatness and anti-blackness. That's what it is. That's what it is. We need to just call it that. I said the same thing when we were talking about Kaya not too long ago. Oh, Kaya's miserable. She's this and that. Kaya is being transphobic and she's being anti-black. Let's just call it that. We don't have to talk about how miserable all these other things, because people just don't be, sometimes they're just not miserable. Sometimes they just are stupid, and we need to educate them, and we need to let them know that this is what this is. It's not because you're miserable. It's because you're just trash. You're just trash, and call a thing a thing. I just wish that there was a safe space for people like Lizzo to exist. That's the world that I want to live in. That's the world. That's the world that I want to live in, where Lizzo doesn't have to come and be resilient every time someone calls her fat and someone says she's ugly or whatever. Like, that is one of the main reasons why I hated the Precious movie. Like, there's this thing that is happening, like how we consume people, how we respond to stuff, and I don't know. I just don't know. I just really just did not get the reason for a lot of folks calling this man ugly when it was just right there. It was just right there. It was clear as day. Hey, this man, like, this is fucked up. Like, he shouldn't be saying that. But instead of that, it's like, you have no room to talk because you ugly. And when I ask people to repeat that, they're like, but he is ugly. He is ugly. But what does that mean? What does that mean when we're sitting here calling Aries Spears ugly? What does that mean? Does that mean that someone who is not ugly is allowed to say some stuff like that and get away with it? What happens then? Because I've seen it. We all see it. We see how desirability works in other folks' favor. Like, we see how people respond and say, oh, you know what? He's too cute to be, he's too cute to be out here murdering somebody. Who's too cute to be in jail? He's too, like, I believe him because he couldn't have done that. He couldn't have raped her because, you know, he's cute. Like, desirability literally be saving so many folks. Desirability be literally saving y'all face from criticism. Desirability really be keeping y'all face careers alive. Like, it is. Like, if we don't fix this, like, I don't want to live in this world. I will just say that plain. I hate it. I hate every time Lizzo is trending on Twitter, I literally get triggered. Every time I see Lizzo on Twitter trending, I am scared because I'm like, is this going to be a day where I'm going to have to deal with everybody out here saying trash stuff about fat folks? Or what is it? What is it? We've already had conversations about that. We've already talked about, I've talked about several things. It doesn't matter if Lizzo was out of breath or whatever. It doesn't matter if Lizzo was not eating salads and eating healthy. It does not matter if she ate whatever she wants to. She is fat and she is happy and she is a good person, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I just want people to know that saying Lizzo is, well, she eats right and she can do all this other stuff and da-da-da, she don't be out of breath. There's a lot of fat folks who literally exist like myself, who make sure that you do not see them sweating and make sure they don't sound like they're out of breath, because we already know that comes from anti-fatness. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad that when I used to do certain interviews and sit in videos and stuff, I would cover my stomach for being shown. Like, me and Deshaun talked about several times, like tucking our shirts in, making sure when I walk up the steps, I don't sound like I'm out of breath and stuff, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with that. But it's just like, girl, I'm walking up the steps, I'm out of breath, and it's okay. But we try our best, unfortunately, to cover up our fatness to make other people feel comfortable. We do that a lot. Yeah, I just want better. I want better. I just want better. I don't have anything else other than just saying that calling Aries fat and ugly. All I have to say is just calling Aries Spears fat and ugly is not the revolutionary criticism that you think it is. You're literally doing the same thing that he's doing. Aries Spears deserves to be called out. And he deserves to be popped again in his mouth for being ignorant to a black woman. But at the same time, we don't have to revert to the same things that he was doing to criticize him. We can criticize him on his behavior and call a thing of what it is. This anti-fatness and anti-blackness. So let's stay on topic. Let's do that. That's all I got. I'll talk y'all later. Bye.